It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today. Today we're going to have a look at my team selection for Game Week 35, but just quickly before that we're going to go over how I did in Game Week 34, and just a warning, there is the possibility that I might get triggered talking about certain players of mine. So we start off by looking at my goalkeeper and defence, and unfortunately for me, whereas last week they were the reliable source of points, this week not so much, as Martinez didn't manage to get a clean sheet. His run has ended unfortunately, but it's been a successful run. And then in defence we had James Justin, Alexander-Arnold and Matt Doherty all not return clean sheets or get any sort of attacking returns, which is slightly annoying for Doherty because he hasn't got any in a while now, and Alexander-Arnold, you always hope for those points to come in. As far as how they actually performed in game, James Justin was the only one with any real sort of attacking threat, with 2 shots, both from inside, 1 attempted assist, with it resulting in a shot on target. So James Justin at his cheap price seems like a player that could come in with some surprise points for me at some point in this season. Moving on to the midfield, and this is where I'm going to get slightly triggered because I watched all of the Manchester City game against Newcastle, and I don't think I've ever watched a player look as good as Phil Foden did in the game and not get me any FPL attacking returns, with some very good chances on goal that on another day he probably would have put away. That being said, Phil Foden does look like a good player, and at his price, he won't be that price next year. He does look really good value for money. Then of course I captained Kevin De Bruyne, which was, apart from Phil Foden, was one of the worst choices out of my midfield other than Martial and Foden. I could have gone with Salah and got 18 points doubled up, and I could have gone with Fernandes and got 14 points doubled up, but again my captaincy choice doesn't seem to be the best one. I haven't seen Salah's performance, but 2 goals and 1 assist from 8 shots, 5 of which were on target, with 4 big chances and expected goals at 1.8. makes me think maybe I shouldn't move him on, which was the planned move after this game week. De Bruyne with 1 assist, 1 shot on goal, 7 attempted assists and 2 big chances created means his underlying stats weren't too bad, but there was better options out there, at least for FPL returns, looking at the likes of Sterling and Mahrez. And then Phil Foden, 4 shots on goal, all from inside the box, one of them being a big chance, expected goals of 0.7 with 1 attempted assist and no return. Most painful game I think I've ever watched. And then we move on to the strikers, and I'm recording this just as the Man United game has finished, and Mason Greenwood was brought in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and it looks like that was at least a decent move. It was for a -4 because Foden was coming in for St. Maximin, who I had a feeling wasn't going to play, and that's probably just about paid off for me, as I got 10 points from the 2 people I transferred in, and I wouldn't have got those points with the players that I would have had if I stuck and not made a transfer. However, potentially with Chelsea doing so well, a free hit may have been very beneficial for me if I had gone with it this game week. Unfortunately, I didn't. As for the bench, it's a good thing I didn't play Nketiah, as he got a red card and got a score of -2. Kiko Firmino getting 2 points and Lascelles not even featuring does mean I'm a bit worried about my bench going into the next game week, with Lascelles a doubt and Nketiah not being able to play. So my score for the game week was 73 points, but it is with a -4, bringing me down to 69. Unfortunately, the average for the top 10k was 74, which means I'm below the average of the kind of players I'm trying to catch up with or overtake right now, but I was above the overall average of 59. So decent game week, but when you get 73 points with the -4, you kind of expect a rise in rank. Instead, we see myself drop almost 20k in position, almost back to my score before the Premier League restarted, which is very unfortunate after the great start we had with the unlimited transfers in Game Week 30 plus. So let's look at the Game Week 35 team selection, but before we do that, if you are enjoying the content and the new layout, please hit that like button, subscribe and that notification bell, as well as leaving how you did in Game Week 34 down in the comments down below, and any questions you have for me, I will try to answer as many of them as possible. So going into Game Week 35 plus, we have Martinez in goal against Tottenham Hotspurs, which, to be fair, I was worried about before tonight happened, and I heard of Tottenham's awful display against Bournemouth, a side that most teams have been able to score very convincingly against. So hopefully Martinez can pick up another clean sheet in this game, and Arsenal do seem to be slightly more up for it than they were at the start of the season, and Spurs look like they're there for the taking. So for one night only, I might be an Arsenal fan. In defence, we have the usual threesome of Justin against Bournemouth away, hopeful of a clean sheet there. Alexander-Arnold against Burnley at home, another clean sheet potential there. And Doherty against Everton at home. Doherty is one I'm considering moving on because without the attacking returns, is he really worth the premium price? Of course, as soon as I start doubting a player, that's usually when they score big for me, so hopefully that is the case in this situation. In midfield, we have Salah against Burnley at home, like Alexander-Arnold. We have the Man City boys of Foden and De Bruyne against Brighton Hove Albion away. And then we have Fernandes and Martial, as well as Greenwood against Southampton at home. Jimenez also playing Everton like Doherty. And then the bench, Lascelles does have Watford away, which would be a good fixture, I believe, but unfortunately we don't know if Lascelles will play. Kiko Firmino against Newcastle at home, again a decent game, potentially a clean sheet from Kiko Firmino there. And then Ketia can't play and Button isn't going to play. Having a quick look at the fixtures and the stats, I do feel like a Chelsea player is something I should really bring into my side, despite the fact that they're playing away to Sheffield United. Also, West Ham are starting to pique my interest, and they do have Norwich on Saturday, another game that I wouldn't mind having a player in. And then Leicester City against Bournemouth, again a fixture that I would feel better having someone like Jamie Vardy playing in when Bournemouth have looked so bad since the restart. So if we actually consider what transfers I'm going to make going into Game Week 35, in midfield it's quite clear that I'm looking at the likes of Willian, Pulisic and Antonio. Willian recently has been on fire, potentially playing for a contract at a new club, trying to impress some new suitors. 4 goals, 2 assists, 16 shots, 10 on target, 4 big chances, 3 big chances scored with expected goals of 3.2, 16 attempted assists and 3 big chances created since the league has restarted. Comparing that to Pulisic, who is my other favourite option right now because Chelsea look like a very good attacking unit. He's had 3 goals, 3 assists, 14 shots, 6 on target, 3 big chances, 2 of which he scored, an XG of 1.5, 7 attempted assists and 1 big chance created. Interesting to see that Willian has actually got better numbers there, but the flavour of the month does seem to be Pulisic. I'm very tempted to go for whichever one is the differential, but knowing my luck, whichever one I go for, the other one's going to get the bigger haul in the up and coming game week. And then Antonio is also an outside shout with his game. 2 goals so far, 1 assist, 17 attempts, 7 shots on target, 4 big chances, with 2 big chances scored, 7 attempted assists and 2 big chances created. He has put out some impressive numbers and does seem to be the real engine, the workhorse for that West Ham side, and looks to be a big part of everything good they do alongside Jared Bowen, but Antonio is the one that I'm the most interested in. In defence, we are looking at some cheaper options to potentially replace Doherty, and we have the likes of Craig Dawson and Egan to look over. Craig Dawson at 4.8 million has actually had 2 goals since the restart, 10 shots on goal, 4 on target, with 1 big chance and expected goals of 1. With Egan slightly cheaper at 4.5 in a Sheffield United defence that does seem to be getting back to what they were before the league was suspended for a period of time. 2 goals, 6 shots, 2 on target with 2 big chances and expected goals of 0.8. Both look like cheap replacements for potentially Doherty if I just don't see points coming from him. And then up front we really have 2 options to consider. We could of course try and get Rashford in instead of Greenwood, but I'm quite happy with how Greenwood did recently in the last 2 games he's featured in. We also have other options to consider. Right now, Leicester against Bournemouth, Jamie Vardy, 3 goals, 13 shots, 5 on target, 4 big chances, 3 scored, expected goals of 2.4 with 9 attempted assists and 1 big chance created. I'm starting to feel like Jamie Vardy could be back for just the tail end of the season as Leicester try and secure that Champions League place. But Ings is also a player that I have to consider. He has scored today, which makes him have 4 goals and 1 assist. The underlying stats unfortunately are not up to date because they were taken from before the game, but 10 shots before this game week, 3 on target, 2 big chances, expected goals at 1.5 and 8 attempted assists. He looks like a good option to replace the likes of Jimenez, and then potentially we could go back to a front 3, although there are so many good options currently in midfield. So guys, in the comments down below, let me know what your planned transfers are. Your guys' support on this channel recently has been absolutely amazing. Some of the numbers my videos are producing right now is epic, and that's all thanks to you guys. So again, please do like, subscribe and hit that notification bell to support the channel. Hopefully I got the camera sorted so that is a better experience for you guys on the video. Hopefully you have an amazing game week 35 and we all see plenty of green arrows. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.